The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us here once again for the No Fact Podcast.
Third and final week of mini team, kind of.
Dave and Matt.
Wait, it's the fourth week. Maybe people are back out and about by now.
Coming at you, and I guess today, I personally would like to talk about something that's a little bit disturbing to me, and that's the deliberate decline of anonymity. What does that mean? It means that there's really no real way to be anonymous anymore. And by that I mean there's really a decline in your own privacy. Everybody's being tracked.
Yep.
And everybody gladly carries around the instrument of their own tracking. Everybody's being filmed. Pictures been taken of them. I mean, there's really no way for you to have any kind of privacy anymore. And I think that is a little bit dangerous.
Super dangerous. And yet everybody's just giving it away. The privacy thing. You're talking about privacy, right?
Yeah.
And people have a whole lot of things in their house now that listen to them all the time.
I don't get it. Well, I do because I think it's convenient. They think it's cool. They think it's whatever. But I think it's a bad idea.
And I don't understand why there isn't more concern about it. I mean, you just said it. You said it. It's convenience, right? People are like, well,
I think it's a clear case of more education, not exactly resulting in the making of better choices.
Exactly. So but you have a cell phone.
I have to have one.
Yeah. I have a cell phone and I have every app under the sun on my cell phone.
I'm actually kind of considering using my cell phone as a landline in that I will leave it in one place and only have it in that place and not carrying it around with me.
You are weird.
Yeah, for someone as young as I am.
I mean, that probably puts you in like a 0.1% category or something because everybody carries their cell phone with them. I'm
a weird middle-aged man marching towards becoming a weird old man.
So your phone, but you also don't have any apps on your phone.
Nah, I don't use them.
Which is also kind of unusual.
Well, I don't see how they make my life better.
See, I don't like the fact that now when you go work for a newer company, a tech company, a younger company, they give you a phone and they essentially track everything.
How? What do you mean track everything?
You gotta, like in the old days, you had the key card entry. Well, now you do it with your phone, and you use your phone to gain access, and the company is literally, if the company's giving you a laptop and a cell phone, it's the same thing, right? They're tracking and looking at everything you're doing. They can tell if you're being shit, man. They can probably assess your productivity.
So, okay, that's the company's prerogative.
Yeah.
But this whole idea of, I don't care about privacy, I'm not doing anything wrong, that's a bad argument.
Because you're not the one deciding what's right and what's wrong?
Well, I didn't think about that, but I didn't even go that far. I just thought it's a bad argument. This whole idea of, I don't need to hide anything, I'm not doing anything wrong. That's a naive argument on top of that. If someone thinks you're doing something wrong, then all kinds of stuff's going to come out about how you did wrong, whether you actually did it or not.
That's true.
They will use the stuff you do to point out how you were wrong. If you don't have enough bad stuff to use, new stuff will come out that shows you doing wrong.
For some reason, I just thought of that, and this has nothing to do with phones, but I remember something in the press a couple of years ago where there was some LGBT activist that was like, we need to have like a gay and lesbian list. I'm like, why would you want to have a list?
Yeah. I suppose that person never thought that list would be used against you.
But yeah, it's really, and social media has just really ramped things up to another level.
But let's face it, folks. We live in a time where everything you do can and will be used against you. So can you honestly sit there and now say I'm not doing anything wrong? Because that, while maybe a technically true statement, is not practically a true statement. I know it makes me sound like someone that should be sitting in my house, tinfoil wrapped around my head. But I'm not.
So you're just saying nobody doesn't have everybody's doing something bad.
No, I'm saying anything you do, if someone wants,
they can use it against you.
It will be used against you.
Wow.
No matter what it is you do. Hey, do you surf for porn? Gotcha. Hey, do you print up coupons? Gotcha. Hey, do you spend too much money on something? Gotcha.
Right.
Hey, do you spend not enough money on something? Gotcha.
Shit, I shouldn't be using my phone.
I'm not saying that either, but I don't say that to make people paranoid, but I do think that anonymity is actually, some degree of it's actually pretty good. If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't be on anybody's radar.
That's true.
And you shouldn't be tracked. But everybody's tracked. And everything they do is tracked.
See, this is... Wow, full circle, dude.
Okay.
Full circle. So, this is why this is why there's a big push to try and get away from physical media. They don't want people reading newspapers. They don't want people looking at physical copies of stuff.
Well, that would only be a boon for the ophthalmologist because looking at screens will mess up your eyes.
But if you're doing stuff on screens, they can see everything you're reading and looking at.
Yep.
If it's a newspaper, they can't. Unless they're filming you reading the newspaper. I don't know.
Well, they probably are, so.
But that's the whole thing. Wow. So really, we should kind of stick with newspapers.
I think that we should probably not be the means of our own destruction.
That would be nice.
But the way things seem to the way things seem to be going towards, we are gladly being the means of our own personal destruction.
Wow. So what about podcasts?
What about them?
Well, podcasts are very public.
Sure.
You probably shouldn't say anything in a podcast that you wouldn't want, somebody to be able to use against you, I suppose.
Well, it really doesn't matter. I mean...
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
The way technology is that someone can sample your voice and then create something in your voice that says something totally different.
That's true. Oh, yeah, so they don't need a podcast to do it.
I guess it depends on who the podcast person is.
Oh, and you said it's deliberate. That was the other part we didn't talk about.
Deliberate in the sense that we are voluntarily doing it.
Oh.
Deliberate in the sense that there's a push toward it.
Two things.
And a lot of us have decided, yeah, that's cool. Let's do that.
Dude, I think everybody's on social media, except you maybe.
Well, only time will tell if that's a good or a bad thing.
It's probably a bad thing for everybody to be on it.
I don't know if bad's necessarily what will happen, but I definitely know that it's probably not good. But just because something isn't good doesn't make it bad.
Well, I think a lot of the panic that's going on is because of everyone's obsession with social media.
Well, I think the panic that's going on is because we're not as smart as we like to think we are.
How's that?
What do you mean, how's that? Did I stutter?
No, you mean just because people aren't rational creatures?
Well, that too, but, we're just kind of reacting to things without having a good picture.
Yeah.
A good discourse, a good analysis. And if you don't know, then basically all you're saying is we need to listen to the experts because science. And I'm just like, well, that's a stupid thing to say.
Oh, I hate it when people say that.
You might as well say we might as well listen to the experts because religion.
Right.
Or you might as well, listen to the experts because, the Great Pumpkin.
That is a really, really annoying statement because science...
I mean, science is a wide-reaching bunch of fields, and if you get down to it, the scientific method really, 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 really hinges on people questioning and trying to debunk what somebody else just said.
Right.
So accepting science is actually opposed to the principle of science.
Wow.
The whole point of science is to get to the truth while trying to attack and disprove what someone else says.
Yeah, and a lot of these people who say because science are the antithesis of that.
Right. So if you're just accepting something because science, then you have a fundamental misunderstanding of science.
Well, yeah, most of these people do.
And I think that's enough for today. Thank you for sticking in on our podcast. Please listen and comment and whatever, and we'll let you know how to do that directly.
Phew.
All right, thanks for tuning in to Low Fat Podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Low Fact. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Low Fat Podcast. If you want to chat to us, send us some comments, or have us talk about some things, just send an email to lowfatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our Twitter and Instagram pages at Low Fat Podcast. And also check out Andy's pages where he mixes our beats, Twitter and Instagram @FantasyBeat. And you can also find his wicked ass shit on SoundCloud at Artificial Fantasy.